Hi, I'm Sam, owner of Branded Threads, and today I'm going to go over how to properly reclaim a screen. Step one, and the most important step, gloves. Step two is on the press, you're going to remove as much ink as you can, but if for some reason you aren't able to, over here you would come off, you would use a cleanup card, remove all the excess ink that we can, and then we're going to remove the tape. So what that looks like is we just grab it in the corner, the easiest corner to grab it, and then we just pull. Ball it up a little bit and directly into the trash. Make sure on the back side that we remove any tape that we see if we had any pinholes or we tape over the registration mark. A tip is the PMI makes this easy rip tape. If you get on the edge, it actually doesn't stick, so you're able to pull it up without having to dog ear it. A pro tip that I'm going to let you in on is 99% of the time we don't actually need to tape the bottom of the screen. You're just wasting ink. So if you don't need to, don't do it. Now when I first started, I didn't use a dip tank, but that's been a major improvement that I brought into the shop. I now have the Easiway PT525 dip tank. It's 25 gallons and it's filled with water and their chemical Supra. The ratio is 5 gallons of Supra and then you fill the rest up. So whatever that calculation ends up to come out, I believe that'd be 5 gallons of Supra, 20 gallons of water. It has the hold down bar, and this is the newer one that does allow for the drip to happen on the side. So what I do is I put two in at a time. With a manual screen, you can fit them vertically, and with the auto screens, they're gonna go in horizontally. And then we put our hold down bar over top, and we're gonna let those soak for about 2 minutes. But what I do is when I pull one out to reclaim, I put the other one in the drip part, which I'll show you in a second. Okay, it's been about 2 minutes. So like I said, I'm gonna pull one out, put it in the reclaim, and then I'm gonna leave one to drip. Okay, so we're gonna pull this out. We do wanna let some of the excess run back into it, not too much that we're actually gonna get sludge. I'm gonna throw that in our reclaim, and then I'm just gonna set this one here. Like I said, this is a new feature that Easiway added, and it's gonna allow it just to drip back in there. And it's, like I said, it's not gonna allow all the sludge and the big ink chunks to slip back into the tank. Now, it is safe to actually let this one drip. Like I said, we're just gonna continue the cycle. So we're gonna completely reclaim this one, pull this one in, and then we're gonna add two more and do that again. Now, if we were to leave this, say like a customer walked in or we got a phone call or something like that, you can have emulsion lock happen, and when that does happen, the screen is ruined. You're gonna have to get it remeshed. So we are gonna be conscious of how long this does stay out of the actual dip tank. So in this process, what you're gonna need, like I said, I use the dip tank. You could just use emulsion remover, but the dip tank is gonna make your life a lot easier. You need a water source, you need a pressure washer, which I have underneath here. You're gonna need 3 different chemicals, one of them being the Supra that we already discussed. Other than that, I use 701 by Easiway, and then I use a Franmar degreaser afterwards. And then you're gonna need 3 different sponges, which in my case are all color-coded with different colors of tape on top of them. Now, if you're gonna leave them, like you can hang them on the side, but if you're gonna leave them inside, just make sure that they're sitting on an existing sponge so that it's not getting chemicals, ink, and emulsion on there. So for instance, like for this sponge, I have this one underneath that it just sits on so that it's actually not getting any of the chemicals on there. Okay, for the sponges, I do use 3 different ones. I'm gonna use the first one to help break up the emulsion before I spray it off, and that's also gonna be the one that I do use the 701 on that I'll scrub after I spray it on. The second one is gonna be for the frames. I'm gonna spray some 701 and use it on the frames. I do not use the screen scrub brush and the frame scrub brush to do the same thing. They have their own purpose, so make sure that they stay separated. Like I said, they are color-coded. And then lastly, I use one just for degreasing. It's not used for anything other than just the degreaser. Now, if we're starting out, I'm gonna wet the sponge just to start out. After this, it'll be wet and be good to use. So I literally just hit it real quick. Good. Give it a little scrub-a-dub-a-dub on both sides. And now I'm gonna spray down. What I do is I start at the top, I go down maybe like 5 or 6 inches. I hit the strip on the side. It's gonna be thicker just because of how you coat the screen. I'm gonna hit that on both sides, and then I'm just gonna work my way down. I'll show you right now. hit one side, then I hit the other. And now I'm just gonna work this all the way down. Like you can see what I did there, after I get all the emulsion off, I am actually gonna go over the print area again and just hit it with some water just to help break up that ink, and especially the registration marks that were taped, because that's gonna be ink and adhesive that's gonna be stuck in there together. So just hit that with some water, break it up, and now is actually gonna be the time to hit it with the 701. Okay, so this is the 701 from Easiway. This is literally probably the best chemical that I've ever used in my life. It's gonna take off this whole ghost image. So you just spray it on the actual like area where the print was on both sides. Hit it on the print side, hit it on the substrate side. We take our sponge and we're just gonna scrub it in like a circular motion. I hold the screen at the top. And you apply like medium pressure. You don't wanna go too hard where you're busting through the screen, and you don't wanna be too soft where you're not actually breaking it down. Scrub on that side, scrub on this side. Now that we've hit it with the 701, again, we're gonna start at the top and work our way down. Hot dog, it's gone. And now the last step is gonna be our degreaser. Like I said, I use the Franmar brand degreaser. Apparently with the 701, you actually don't have to use it, but this is an extra step that I'm okay with doing just to make sure that all of the chemicals are completely off of the screen. Again, we're gonna apply, this time we do apply pretty liberally. We wanna cover the entire screen. We just kinda hit it like that on one side, hit it like that on the other. We're gonna take our scrub pad and go around the edges, hit the middle, and then same on the inside. That's a pretty good degreasing. Now we're just gonna, again, work from the top. You wanna be able to see the water cascade down, and when you stop seeing bubbles, that's a good indication that it's clean. And really make sure that at the top and the sides, you're really getting into the side. There is a tiny bit of space between the screen mesh and the frame that some chemical is gonna hide in, so we really wanna make sure that we spray that out. Now say for the last like 6 inches of it, I don't want to spray directly into it because it's going to hit the corner of my washout booth and it's going to spray back those chemicals that I just got off of it. So once I get down to this area, I actually lift it up and I'm going to hit it from the side. So I'll show you what that, pause. And then I'm going to hold it up and spray it down like this. Lastly, I want to make sure I get it all out of this corner that I'm holding it to. I hold it like this for, I don't know, 10, 15 seconds, just allowing the water to run off, maybe give it a couple taps. And then I'm gonna put it over here on my drying rack and turn the fan on. Now for this part, I do always store it this way down, the actual print side down, so that the water runs out of the frames, and if it's gonna drip, it'll drip out that way, opposed to staying locked in to that area of between the mesh and the frame. Okay, now I'm gonna show you what it looks like if we just blitz through it and we're running regular production. So like we did on the last one, we're gonna hurry up, give it this quick little breakdown of the emulsion with our scrub brush. Like I said, about 5 inches down, and then we hit the sides. Now we're just gonna work directly down. After we get the emulsion off, remember, we're gonna hit the actual print area once again. Now it's time to spray on our actual print area, as well as some of the edges. We do have some, so we're gonna spray our 701 on that. Hit it on the substrate side, hit it on the print side, get the scrubbing. Now this is also gonna be the time that we're gonna hit the screen frame, so we get out our scrub brush for that, hit it with some 701. We're gonna get the outside edges, and then we're gonna get the inside edges. We're gonna make sure that we don't hit the plastic of the sponge onto the actual mesh because it could pop it. So we hit it like that. For me, when I load and unload, when I'm using the automatic press, my flood bar always tends to hit this side of the frame. So I'm gonna make sure, like really pay attention to make sure that that side's clean. Once I do that, I'm just gonna spray the frame just to get that chemical off of there. Now that we have a clean frame, I'm gonna flip that back over and get back to our reclaiming. As you can see, I actually do have some hazing left over, so I'm just gonna hit it with 701 again. Just repeat the process. It's actually good for the video because you can see what happens in that instance. I'm gonna hit it. And now you can see that time around, it just completely took it off. Now we're gonna hit it with our degreaser. We cover up the whole screen with it. Use our degreaser sponge, edge to edge. And now this is where we really want to pay attention to hitting the edge on the top and the sides to get all of that chemical that's going to be trapped in between our mesh and our frame out of there. So we start at the top, hit our side, cascade straight down. And while we're doing this, we're going to look to make sure that there's no emulsion left over that's going to leave pinholes when we go to print our next job. There is one, for instance. You want to pay attention and spray that out. We get to the end, tilt it to the side. Then we're gonna let it drip dry again, 10, 15 seconds. We're gonna give it a couple taps at the end and then put it on our screen drying rack. Let it go out the edge. You also kind of want to be paying attention to, when you look at your runoff, it should be clear. If you're having bubbles or it's white like the chemical, you didn't do a good enough job spraying it out, and then you'd want to repeat the process. But in this instance, I have nice clear runoff, so it's time to go right on our screen drying rack. Okay, we're gonna keep an eye on our screens in the drying rack. Once we notice that we're dry, we're gonna pull them into the dark room. That's gonna leave us with a really nice, clean, dust-free environment. We don't wanna keep it out here where production is going on. Literally, that is just for getting the initial water off, and then we're gonna store it in there until it's ready to coat. I wanted to go over washout boost really quick. When I started, I bought like a screen printing package that came, it was pre-owned, that came from somebody, and it didn't even have legs. I actually just like built a little platform on it and then put some buckets underneath and did all kinds of stuff. But then I got to the next step where I went with, I had like an Easiway, a smaller one that I actually still use it. Perfect for my manual screens, but it was too small for my automatic screens. So then I purchased this behemoth from a shop that was getting out of screen printing. It's a Workhorse one. You can actually fit 2 screens side by side. I just use it 1 screen at a time. But it didn't have the backlighting. It did have the like clear plexiglass, but it didn't have the backlighting. So I just picked up some lights at like Lowe's or Home Depot. I don't know, they were like 20, 30 bucks. And then I just taped them to the back and I ran them to an extension cord that I can control. That way I don't have to get back there and turn them on and off every single time. This is gonna help you tremendously as far as like the pinholes go, or seeing the image that you need to really spray out. This is really gonna help with that, and I do recommend anytime that you can backlight it, please do. And overhead does work okay, but backlit definitely works the best. Thank you all for watching. Subscribe to this YouTube channel. Check out the website, brandedthreads.com. The Instagram is brandedthreadsshop. And like and subscribe. Thanks.